When we think of banned books, we think of literature such as Beloved, Lolita, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. But others associate banned books with The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. Anne Frank was born on June 12, 1929, in Frankfurt, Germany. After her family relocated to Holland to escape the ever-growing Nazi Party, Anne was enrolled in a Montessori school. On her 13th birthday, Anne was given masses of gifts, among them a small autograph book. Naming it Kitty, Anne quickly dedicated the journal to personal writing. Most entries centered on her family, friends, and observations. Each narration painted a mostly tranquil lifestyle. But everything changed when Margot Frank, Anne's sister, was called up by the SS. Otto, Anne's father, rushed the family into his secret annex, relying on his former employees for basic needs. After only a brief period alone, the Franks were joined by the Van Dans, who, according to Anne, were the source of much discord. During their isolation in the annex, Anne threw herself into her studies. As time passed, the diary shifts from a light-hearted journal to one girl's account of the Holocaust horrors. After exploring a relationship with Peter, the Van Dans son, Anne's narrative is curtailed. A foreword reveals that the Van Dans and Franks were discovered and sent to concentration camps. Only Otto survived, and in memory of his wife and daughters, he published Anne's work. Since its original publication in 1947, the diary has garnered massive recognition. It was selected for the YALSA Best Books for Young Adults, Young Adult Literacy Association services, in 2015. Both past and modern reviews praise Anne's prose. In 1952, Times called Anne's narrative one of the most moving stories that anyone, anywhere, has ever managed to tell about World War II. Similarly, The Guardian calls Frank a glorious author, concluding that her openness and honesty made her relatable and likable. Yet not everyone was so impressed with the diary's candor. In early 2010, Culpeper County Schools in Virginia removed the definitive edition from classroom curricula in response to a single-parent complaint. The pernicious section, a very brief passage, finds Anne pondering over female anatomy. The district director of instruction called the challenge a great thing, saying that these things let me know that parents are really looking and have their kids' best interest in mind. Oddly, this was not in accordance with district policy, which says complaints must be submitted in writing and be reviewed by a research committee. Neither of those requirements were met. Comparably, the definitive edition was challenged in Northville, Michigan by a middle school parent who deemed the passage pornographic in 2013. In contrast, however, Northville retained the ever-problematic edition, calling the proposed removal situational censorship. These sexually charged challenges are not a nascent occurrence. Parents in Wise County, Virginia challenged the book for being sexual back in 1982. Baker Middle School in Corpus Christi, Texas, removed the text for 2 months in 1998 for being pornographic. A student-led letter-writing campaign convinced school officials to restore Anne's diary. Yet the most shocking censorship occurred in Alabama. 4 members of the Alabama State Textbook Committee voted the book down in 1983 for being a real downer. But did challengers ever consider teen responses?
She's made such an impact on so many people.
I always find it amazing when you read something about a person that lived a long time ago and you're like, wow, I feel like I can really relate to this person even though we're from a completely different era.
For me reading this, it was so much about a young girl growing up and her insecurities and her struggle to kind of become herself. It just reminds me that there is good in humanity.
What these teens had to say is reminiscent of something Anne herself said. I keep my ideals because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart.